Hi, good day. I'm Alisa Navaro from BSE 2B. In this video, I'm going to discuss the graphical representation of ungrouped data, including line graph, bar graph, and pie chart. Graphical representation refers to the use of intuitive charts to clearly visualize and simplify data sets. Data is ingested into graphical representation and then represented by a variety of symbols, such as lines on a line graph, bars on a bar graph, and slices on a pie chart, from which users can gain greater insight than by numerical analysis alone.
Line graph. A line graph is usually used to show the change of information over a period of time. This means that the horizontal axis is usually a time scale. For example, minutes, hours, days, months, or years. A line graph is formed by joining the points given by the data with straight lines. Let's have an example. The table shows the daily earnings of a store for 5 days. Construct a line graph for the frequency table. Basically, based on the given data, days will be our x-axis and earnings will be placed in y-axis. Afterwards, with the help of the already given data, point out the exact values on the graph and join the points with the line segments. By plotting the given data, our line graph will be look like this. Let's have another example, but this time dalawa na yung dependent variables, which is yung drinks and food. Same lang siya ng process, but in this case, each line would have a different color, identified in the legend, which is yung blue line nagre-represent siya sa data of drinks and red line represents the data of food.
So let's move on to bar graphs. A bar graph is a graphical display of data using bars of different heights. It usually compares different categories and useful for looking at the data and making a comparison. So kagaya ng line graph, bar graph also consists of horizontal x-axis and vertical y-axis.
A bar graph compares different categories. It can be vertical or horizontal. A bar chart with vertical bars, categories are on the x-axis, and bar chart with horizontal bars, categories are on the y-axis. Types of bar graph. Group bar graph. A group bar graph is a way to show information about subgroups of the main categories. In the above image, the categories are issues that senior citizens facing, which is yung hearing loss and mobility issues. And then yung subgroup is yung age. A separate colored bar represents each subgroup. Blue for age 70 to 79 years old and red for age 80 to 100 years old. Stack bar chart. A stack bar chart also shows subgroups, but the subgroups are stacked on the same bar. Each bar shows the total for subgroups within each individual category. Kagaya sa group bar graph, yung different colors is nagre-represent sa subgroups niya. A stack bar graph is used for grouping or categorizing the parts of a whole.
Pie chart. A pie chart is a type of graph that represents the data in the circular chart. The slices of pie show the relative size of the data. The term pie represents the whole, and the slices represent the parts of the whole, and the total value of the pie is always 100%. So pie chart is also known as circle chart, that divides the circular statistical graphic into sectors or slices in order to illustrate the numerical problems.
The following are the steps in order to work out with the percentage for a pie chart. First is to categorize the data, calculate the total, divide the categories, convert to percentage, and finally calculate the degrees. Therefore, the pie chart formula is given as given data over total value of data times 360. Let's have an example. Imagine you survey your friends to find the kind of movie they like best. We have here the table: favorite type of movie, where comedy got 4, action 5, romance 6, drama 1, and science fiction have 4. The first thing we need to do is to add up all the values to get the total. And in this case, ang total natin ay 20. Next, divide each value by the total and multiply by 100 to get the percent. After that, next to know is how many degrees for each pi sector we need. We will take a full circle of 360 degrees and follow the calculation with the formula given data over total value of data times 360. After the calculation, draw a circle and use a protractor to measure the degrees of each sector. And this is our pie graph. We can conclude that statistical data may be presented in a more attractive form with the help of some graphic aids such as pictures and diagrams, which carries a lot of communication power, and the task of understanding and interpretation of data becomes simple, accurate, and practicable.